Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy John, aka JonnyMamba, named with respect to the legend right there, the Mamba mentality. What I am coming at you guys with today is a top 100 sports moment bracket. We're starting a 6, maybe 7-part podcast series, breaking down some of the greatest sports moments of all time. I'm going to get a few of my friends in here every episode, as well as I had a bunch of my friends vote on all the matchups to pass them through the bracket as we go on. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about all these moments. We're going to run through them. At the end of the video, I will put the results of all the voting and everything. Also, if you guys haven't already, I would appreciate if you go down in the box below and give me a subscribe, as I'm a brand new channel. So also, if you feel compelled to like or share the video, I would greatly appreciate it. And like I said, I'm brand new, so anything you can help me do to grow, I would greatly appreciate it. With all that being said, guys, I'm just gonna cut this. I'm gonna get them around get my guys around the table. I'm also gonna timestamp the video, just like I do with all my videos. If you want to go to one specific matchup, if you just want to watch a few instead of all of them, I completely understand it. We're gonna run through about 19 matchups today in the bracket for the first round. But if you only want to watch a few, it'll all be time-stamped in the bracket in the box down below. So with all that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut this, get these guys in here, and I'll catch you in the outro, all right? All right, guys, I got my boys B. Will, I got Eric, and I got Sam in here. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's up? What's up?
Sam. Happy to be here, man.
Hell yeah. Let's dive right into this bracket. We are excited to start it. Let's start with the Damian Lillard series enders. We got 2 series enders. We got to decide which one is going to go up against Michael Jordan's shot on Greg Ehlo. So, tell me what you think, Will. Houston Rockets series ender, Oklahoma City Thunder series ender.
Both were first round, right?
I think, yeah. Yep.
Both were first round, so that's kind of like leaves it up to a tie there too. I don't know. I think overall OKC was a better team at the time. When he hit that one over OKC, they were a better team than what the Rockets were. I'm thinking. That's what I'd probably go with the OKC one.
Yeah.
Did that plus it's like, what was it, like 40 feet?
It was deep. Paul George was like, he's not shooting.
It was straight disrespect.
He just pulls it. Paul George is just like, he just pulls up right in his face.
He's not doing this. What do you think, Greg?
I'm going to say it's the OKC series. One, it's crazy deep. 2, I'm a little bit biased because I hate OKC. I used to be a Sonics fan somewhat, and I got real salty when they left.
You weren't one of the fans that transferred?
No, did not transfer at all.
No.
Not nearly as cool jerseys. So yeah, that one just hit a little bit more home for me, and I've always liked Lillard. I always liked the Blazers with CJ McCollum and them, so go OKC one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's definitely the OKC shot.
Right.
I mean, this is just one of the most disrespectful in the face shots
Oh, the
of all
wave
time.
afterwards then too?
Yeah, I mean, he dribbled it up, and you're looking at the clock. You're like, dude, it's 4 seconds left. What are you doing? He's just standing at half court, and he just pulls up and sinks it.
Slaps Paul George in the face.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
See you never.
See, for me, dude, because the year before we lost Dwight Howard, me as a Lakers fan, and just seeing Dwight Howard after he hit that shot, and Dwight Howard's face is just like, oh, man, we lost, man. And I can just see Kobe being like, you soft. So I was like, I'd love to see it, but like the Paul George, like hitting it right, and he ended their team. Like, that ended the Thunder.
Yeah.
Like, if the Thunder advance on there and they go another round, who knows? Maybe Paul George doesn't win out of OKC and go to the Clippers.
Yeah.
Like, it changed a lot of things.
Maybe
you know
Kawhi would have ended up being with the Lakers then, because he wouldn't have went with the Clippers, because nobody would have went with him.
There's so many what ifs there.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to break down. But I don't know. Let's put the OKC Thunder one. 3-1 outweighs me. But we'll go OKC Thunder versus Jordan shot on Greg Ehlo. What do you think? I'll start with you, Sam.
You know, I mean, we already covered just how great that Damian Lillard shot was, but to be honest, man, when you think of Michael Jordan,
Yep.
you think of this shot.
Yeah.
And the way that he's just able to rise above everybody else is second to none. You can't see that in the league anymore. So I really have to go with Jordan here.
Yeah, I agree. And the one thing I'll say about this, like, the Bulls didn't win the championship this year. They lost to the Pistons in the next round. But this still, like, gave them a lot of hope
For sure.
that they could, you know, be a winning team. You know what I mean? They weren't there yet, but this was, like, a big stepping block for the Bulls. Like we saw in the Last Dance. Like, but what do you think, Rick?
I like the Jordan one simply because I don't know. There's something about that play that, like, I think your Michael Jordans, your Kobe Bryants, like I can name other people in other sports like Messi and like these people that just like snap when like the game is on the line. Like they just snap, and it's this intensity where like Damian Lillard obviously like insane play, like final seconds, but like how he creates that shot, the intensity of like the defense that's being played on him. Like we said, Paul George is just sitting there like, nah, he ain't gonna shoot this. Like you're gonna have to make this shot. Where like these guys were like, this is Michael Jordan. We're D'ing this dude up. The ball going to Michael Jordan. Yep. Michael Jordan's like, yep, ball's coming to me, dude. Try to stop me. And he just goes. And then that's an iconic thing of his athleticism where he just floats.
Yeah.
Like when he hits the top of that jump, he just floats.
It's insane.
It's insane. It's so cool. Yeah, it's iconic.
Yeah, I agree. I like totally with the Jordan shot. Like you said, that mentality that those players just snap into when the game's on the line and need to make something happen. Like, you don't see that in, you know, a lot of players. There's, like you said, there's those few from each, like, sport that, you know, when their team is fucking down, they need to turn their shit on and get it might not necessarily they might not make the shot, but they might set some crazy play up that gets some dude wide open that makes a shot. Like, those are the type of plays that, you know, obviously, you know, win big things, win championships. So definitely,
it was definitely a huge building block for the Bulls and their journey to becoming a dynasty. That's for sure. Definitely, like, as for Michael Jordan, like, people look at it now because we look at it from like we look back on it. But as Michael Jordan in that moment, the amount of confidence that gives him going forward in that moment,
unreal.
Like, it has to be unreal. You know what I mean? Like. So, I don't know. We'll see how the votes come out on it. Yep. Let's move on to the next one. We got Sidney Crosby OT Goal game winner for Team Canada versus Team USA, the Winter Olympics, versus the New York Rangers breaking their 53-year curse in 1993 of no Stanley Cups. So, this is a tough one. It's a tough one because I know well, I'll just send it to you, Will, because you as a Penguins Sidney Crosby, huge fan.
Yeah, this one's tough too because like you said, like it's Canada beating USA, but also, you know, my favorite team, you know, is based in the United States, so it's like it's super tough. Debating those, I think when I voted, I did go with the Sidney Crosby goal just because that US Canada game was. The hype for it was, you know, off the charts. Like, you had number 1 and 2 players on almost every NHL team were pretty much on both sides of the puck. Like, it's literally Canada has number 1 players on like half the teams in the NHL. Like, it's crazy. So I think that was just a little bit, you know, crazy. I think just because I got to see it too. You know, we got to witness it. That makes it that more crazy to us. Like. Not real big into the Rangers, obviously. So, like, obviously that's pretty wild, you know, 50-something years. That's crazy, but, you know, it's just being able to witness it, I think that just makes it a little bit of a difference.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing about all these. Like, you can, like, go back to the Damian Lillard one.
Yeah.
If you're a Portland Trailblazers fan.
You're going to think that's way better.
You know, you experience these moments. That's, you know, it's all about, that's the great thing about all these moments. It's about how you experience them. And, you know, you might have one moment above another just because of your experience of that moment. You know, not even the moment itself. So, what do you got for me, Rick?
Yeah, I went with the Rangers breaking the 54-year drought, or 53.
Yeah.
But the only reason I say that is, like, That's so iconic. That is so, like, in a big city like that.
For New York,
You have, like, a good following. Like, New York sports, like, besides the Giants and baseball, they do well. Like, they're a very, like, religious sports city. You know what I mean? Like, and just them breaking that drought, like, what it brings to their city, what it brings to their, like, club organization and stuff. Where, like, I get the Sidney Crosby with the USA-Canada game is huge.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with that game comes those, like, huge expectations. Like, Sidney Crosby, like...
was expected to make that goal.
Yeah. Like, and as crazy as that is, that's part of what has cemented Sidney Crosby as his, like, that legacy. But, like, I just think that there's been so many of those moments throughout Sidney Crosby's career that, like, this one just stands out for the Rangers.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that one. It's tough.
Yeah, I have to agree with both sides of this. You know, I mean, the Rangers are a team that consistently makes the playoffs. And to have 54 years where you don't even end up winning a Stanley Cup, that's just troublesome for the city. And, I mean, they're one of the first teams in the NHL. But on the other hand, I mean, Sidney Crosby is a freak on the ice. And the way that he's able to just have this balance and have positioning to even get that puck in front of the goal like that is something that's not matched by any other hockey athlete.
Yeah, maybe
so,
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, right. But I have to go with Sidney Crosby's goal winning over the United States because I definitely had much more of a following of the Olympics that year than I did of the Rangers.
It was huge.
Yeah.
It was.
There was a lot of hype going to those just because there were so many players playing in the Olympics. Like,
yeah, plus that
Russia
TJ
was a
Oshie game
huge
got
team.
people really hyped.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Oshie shootout, what, 4 or 6?
Yeah,
He
six. Yeah, he made like he had to do
4.
six.
He hit
something
4.
like that.
Yeah, something like
Hit
that.
4
but-
or 6,
Yeah, he hit 3 in a row because
that's
he had to
ridiculous.
keep going and keep making it.
Yeah.
That's nuts. All right, let's go on to the next one here. We got Tre Jones, 2020 Duke game, missing the free throw, catching it, hitting the shot to tie the game after Duke went on this crazy run. We go into overtime. Same situation. He misses the shot, and a guy floats in and puts it in at the buzzer to beat North Carolina and absolutely break their heart in a season that they needed something like a win versus a good Duke team. But that we got that going up against the Austin Rivers buzzer beater against North Carolina, 2 Duke moments. Austin Rivers also was a crazy run. Duke was down by 15, and they came like all the way back, something like that, 13 or 15. Came all the way back. He hits this crazy shot. No one could believe it. 2 incredible Duke moments. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, you know, this Austin Rivers buzzer beater is just unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
To be able to come back from such a deficit against one of the best teams in the country is a feat in its own right.
Yep.
But this is almost like the Lillard shot where he's just sort of hanging out there and, you know, you're expecting something to happen, but it's almost like the calm before the storm where these guys just sort of take a moment to take a deep breath, elevate, and make the play.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, Tre Jones off that free throw is just bonkers. I mean, you always think of that as a kid, like what would it look like? Yeah, if you just missed the free throw, ran up and like
That's
dunked
nuts.
the shit out of the ball.
That was nuts.
Yeah, but I mean, Austin Rivers, man, that is just something that can't be overlooked. It's gonna stick with me forever. So.
Well.
Yeah. Saw both shots. Saw both things happen live. That, you know, if people who probably listen to this will follow college basketball, but it's just, I think it just comes down to the whole Duke UNC rivalry. Like there's, you know, tons of these shots that have happened throughout history, but I gotta go with Sam on that and how that 3-point game
Austin
winner
Rivers.
it was too wild. Like obviously like you said, that they came back in both games. Like they were down in both games, struggling.
Yeah.
couldn't score, and came back and like missing a free throw, like that actually worked. Like
Insane.
the amount of times that's actually like worked out for teams too to do that, like
Yeah.
doesn't happen very often. But I still gotta go with the Austin Rivers shot.
Yeah. I'm gonna disagree on this one to go with the Tre Jones.
That's where I'm at.
To me, it's just, I don't know. Like when I coach high school soccer, and like when I'm coaching people, like I like to tell my players a lot, like you play the game. Like I'm gonna sit here and coach you, and I'm gonna try to advise you on things, but at the end of the day, you're the one that's putting your cleats on the turf. You're the one kicking the ball, getting hit around. You feel the game. I don't get to feel the game. And to me, like, it's just one of those moments where this guy, like, felt the game, understood the flow of the game, and just took over. Was like, hey, guys, I'm going to lead by example. Follow my lead. Tre Jones puts the team on his back. And then, like, takes the gamble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's sick.
Yeah.
Like, what a gamble to take. Like, what a mature. And, like, if he doesn't do that, if it doesn't work out, how much criticism.
And those big guys, too. I mean, big
Yeah.
guys tipped it out to him. I mean, that's...
Yeah. Like,
It just all worked out perfect.
it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Insane. And absolutely insane. All right, let's move on. We got a heavyweight matchup. Like, heavyweight matchup. Sonny Liston Ali heavy. All right? But we're going to go Cavs championship versus Ray Allen. Shot versus Spurs, game 6. This one's tough. This one is tough. Honestly, the block that LeBron James had is one of the most incredible defensive plays I've seen in recent. Absolutely insane. Yeah. And then the Kyrie Irving step back 3, the city of Cleveland not having a championship in I don't even know how many years. I mean, it is insane. But the Ray Allen shot, I mean, it was game over. They were about to lose.
Fans were leaving.
Oh, yeah. Thousands left. Yeah.
Half the stadium cleared out, and
yeah.
fans were trying to get back in because I remember watching this game. I was staying up late. I didn't have the sound on. Didn't want to, wake anybody up. I was freaking out because I was like, God damn it. Like, they're going to lose. I was like, this is so stupid. And then just started chipping away. And then, like that last play, Ray Allen literally takes a step about 4 or 5 feet backwards. Literally barely gets his feet before the line. And hits his Ray Allen line drive 3-point shot. That's like still one of the mathematically one of the most ridiculous 3-point shots in the NBA ever, because it literally has such a low chance of going in. But it's crazy. Yeah, but I still gotta go with the Cavs championship because they won it in they won it at Golden State too.
The team they beat.
For sure.
What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to agree with everything that Willie's putting out on the table right now, Ray Allen is in the end stages of his career here, where he's just sort of, ice cold. He's killing it, I mean, it's a player that has impacted me a lot when it comes to basketball. But, to be honest, this Cavs game is one that I won't ever forget simply because of that LeBron block. Yeah. And essentially these guys were pulled together for one purpose, to win a freaking ring.
Yep.
And for them to be able to do it it was a great feat for sure.
I totally agree. What you got, Rick?
Yeah, I'm not being just the devil's advocate, but I'm going Ray Allen on this.
Yeah.
My thing is I just think it's such a cool moment. Ray Allen towards the end of his career, he's had been great with the Celtics. I always loved watching Ray Allen. It's the staple of his game is that 3-pointer, and it's wild that when you piece together this team, like you were saying, with the Cavs, you have Kyrie Irving stepping up, hitting this 3. You have LeBron coming up with a big block, and then on the Heat, you have Dwayne Wade, you have LeBron, Chris Bosh, and who's stepping up for you in the big
Talking about the
moment?
Heat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now in the Heat,
Oh, yeah.
you have those guys, and who steps up? Your
Ray
old
fucking
Ray
Allen.
Allen comes in, ice in the veins,
Yep.
telling everybody, I'm a cold killer out here still. Like, I love it. I love that story, that moment. It's so cool. It's just cemented more. Like, Ray Allen was one of those guys that just could always exist in the NBA.
I respect that.
Yeah.
One
same.
of the, like, his and Kyrie Irving shot go, like, against each other, and all the time you see these, like, things, like, which shot was better, better. The Cavs championship, just breaking the curse to me, and the team they did it against. Like,
Oh my
you
god.
know, that Golden State Warriors team, that was
the
the team that-
73 and
Yeah.
19.
Yeah, and then they, you know what I mean, and they're down 3-1. They're down 3-1 to come all the way back. I mean, it's just, the city of Cleveland, there's nothing more iconic.
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah, without
Yeah,
a doubt.
so-
Never will.
If I'm from Ohio, totally different perspective.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to this one. I've seen in the early voting, this one's been kind of one-sided. Villanova buzzer beater to beat North Carolina in the national championship versus Virginia buzzer beater last year to tie the game versus Purdue. I think it's kind of biased because a lot of people like Virginia or like that they won last year, and that and the fact with Villanova's buzzer beater was nuts. I mean, it was such an insane game back and forth with them in North Carolina, and this dude just hits a buzzer beater in a national championship game. I don't know if there had been a buzzer beater national championship game up till that point.
You know what's funny is the shot that people forget that happened right before that buzzer beater.
That shot that
Kobe White hit. Was
or
that,
no,
wasn't that the year?
the Page kid.
Yeah, Marcus Page.
Yeah, he hit that
then
like
he hit
double
one more,
clutch
he
three.
He went up. The dude was gonna swat the shit out of him, and he moved to the side and then still shot it and drained it.
Yeah,
And I was like,
what?
And then
Unbelievable.
Villanova just comes down, hands it off.
Cash
Bang.
game.
Yep.
Yeah. Everybody's pretty much got Villanova in this one. Yeah. We're not gonna dwell.
I
on
do
that.
have to say that this shot won me a couple $100 on my March Madness bracket.
Let's go, baby. Let's
yeah,
go.
it's biased.
You love
I
it.
mean, I mean, in moments like these two, you have to think of the opponent too. Like
For sure.
you're beating an iconic
God.
UNC. Like
Very true. Yeah.
I think-
Iconic coach.
I
Iconic
think so.
team.
I think Virginia, honestly, I think people can agree on this too. I don't even think Virginia should have been in that position in the tournament. Like, there was a lot of things going their way and a lot of weird
That's what I said, a
and
lot of people
bad
don't
calls
Yeah.
in that game. So I think that's why a lot of it.
Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just,
All right, well, let's move on. We got another huge battle in the NBA right up my alley. The Mamba. We talking Kobe Bryant. This one's been close. I've been looking at the voting, and this one is close. We got the Allen Iverson step over of Tyronn Lue in his Game 1 performance against the Lakers, and the Kobe Bryant game winner versus the Suns in the 06 playoffs to put the Lakers up 3-1. This is a tough one for me because honestly, like the Allen Iverson shot, the game, 48 points.
crazy.
That stopped us from achieving perfection in the playoffs, right? Like we were gonna go 16-0, sweep every team. After this, we beat the Sixers in 5, swept them the next 4, and he had 48 and stopped us from achieving perfection. Absolutely insane. The Kobe buzzer beater, absolutely iconic. He tied the game first of all on that crazy layup off of the best play in Smush Parker's career.
Oh, the inbound.
The steal, yeah. The greatest play in Smush. I think Kobe would have said the same thing. He used to trash that dude. It was the funniest thing ever. Passes to Kobe, ties the game. Ball gets almost swatted out of bounds in overtime. Goes, grabs it, hits a game winner. Like, absolute Mamba moment. Like, this is a tough one, bro. What do you guys got? What you got, Will?
I don't know, man, because both are extremely iconic. I think originally I voted for the Kobe shot, but now I was sitting here thinking about it more, talking about it. I think I'm actually going to go with Allen Iverson's step over. because, like you said, to stop perfection, to stop that team from being perfect was just about impossible.
To get that Philadelphia Sixers team to the finals.
Oh my
Exactly,
gosh.
that too.
Insane.
Almost single-handedly.
Absolutely insane. Like, I have to respect
So,
it as a Lakers fan.
yeah, I think I'm going to go with the AI. And I think every kid wanted to do that step over, too. You know,
Yeah.
everyone always, says, shoots Kobe or yells Kobe when they shoot, but you cross someone up and you take that big step over someone, you're like, yeah, what's up?
What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I'm going AI. AI was like AI. I don't know. This was part of what cemented it. There was just like such a perfect guy for Philadelphia. Such a
Yeah.
perfect
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
Like
sure.
chip on the shoulder. He's not perfect. He doesn't claim to be perfect. He's like who he is. No apologies for it. He keeps the ball. People are gonna call him a ball hawk. I think Allen Iverson. This isn't. I'm not. I know we're not here to debate. But I think Allen Iverson is like the greatest shot creator of all time. Simply because look at his size. He had to be creating these crazy
that's
distances.
also another
and
thing you
stuff.
got to take into
Yeah, there's just AI was this guy that had the odds stacked against him, genetically,
Always.
everything, from birth,
Mhm.
Low income guy just comes up and that ultimate
baller.
moment of chip on the shoulder, step over, that disrespect moment. I think that almost help sports go in a way of just the Kobe Bryants, the AIs, they had that tenacity. You know?
And as a Philly person,
That's
he
so
didn't
iconic.
one thing that always hurt Kobe was that people from Philly didn't like him and they booed him
Yeah.
sometimes. And that was at the end of his career, he said one of the most things that meant the most to him was when the people in Philly chanted his name, which we were at that game. It was awesome. But for Allen Iverson to beat Kobe at least once and go down with at least you didn't get swept. You stopped perfection.
Yeah.
You put up a fight. You did everything you could. Like you said, he's the perfect representative for the city of Philadelphia. The underdog role, the fighter, gritty dude, absolutely perfect. What you got, Sam?
Yeah, so, I mean, I just have to start out by saying this Kobe play, the finish, his knowledge on the court is insane. Because you see him driving towards the rim here, and
Art.
facts.
He knows if he goes for a layup, he's about to get just swatted.
If he goes
just
for a
tosses
dunk
it high
or a
in the
layup.
air.
If he went to the basket, he wouldn't have made it in time.
In
Yeah.
time, exactly. So just knowledge of who he is. His basketball IQ
He
is
caught the ball
unmatched.
and went right to that spot. He's
Yeah.
there's that much time.
Yep.
I have this many dribbles.
know how
Get it
many-
the
right
hell
to
out of
my
my hand.
spot
Yep.
and bang.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm a Philly guy. You know, I live and I work 5 minutes from where Kobe grew up and about 10 minutes from where the Sixers stadium is. And I am Philly all the way. AI is somebody who you just have to sort of laugh at the guy and respect the hell out of him.
Yeah.
And, the way that he carries himself is just something that you'll never be able to see again. Because you think about somebody stepping over another player like that in today's day and age, and you're getting teed up or
Someone's throwing punches.
Right.
The
It's
equivalent was that
stupid.
James Harden one where he did that to that guy last year.
Yeah.
He crossed him up and he fell and he just looked.
That almost reminds me of the Shaq one where he dunks on that dude and just shoves him out of bounds. Dude,
Oh,
that's one of my
that's great.
favorite
Yeah.
plays
Great.
ever.
Yeah.
Listen, Cedric.
Just a little bit to add to AI too. So when my dad was working at Penn State, he was up at main campus for something. I forget what it was, but he said he's standing there, and all of a sudden he's these 6'8", 6'7" guys just start walking by him, and he's just like, what in the world is this? And it happens to be the Sixers were doing their training camp there. And this was when Iverson had hurt his wrist. And he had gotten signatures of all the guys then and stuff when he realized. And Iverson wasn't signing autographs because of his wrist. Iverson actually sat there and talked to my dad for a little bit. He said he was just a real nice, genuine guy. I think it's just cool. Iverson was really a guy of the people. He was the people's champ.
Yeah.
He really was. It was awesome.
For sure. All right, let's move on though. Big matchup. I'm interested to see how the votes come in on that one. Let's go Marshawn Lynch. We're gonna switch it into football gear. Marshawn Lynch beast mode versus the Odell Beckham crazy catch versus the Dallas Cowboys. This is a tough one. I've seen the voting kind of going one way. Towards the beast mode run, but I don't think a lot of people. I think the playoff. It was in the playoffs. That gives it a big leg up. But it's a crazy catch versus a crazy run. So what do you think, Sam?
You have to respect the hell out of the run, and Marshawn Lynch's ability to stay on his feet and power through people is
Nuts.
Incredible. Yeah, he's just a truck of a human being. But, I mean, there's this special flair when a player like Odell Beckham is able to catch a ball behind his head with one hand and just, drag something like that in. I mean, I feel like, I don't want to say it this way, but this is the best way to describe it, is that anyone can sort of grab onto a football and maybe, cram it in there. Not like Marshawn Lynch, obviously, but there is a select few number of people in the world that could ever grab a football out of the air like Odell Beckham did.
Seriously, dude. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane.
I've got to go with Odell.
What do you think?
Marshawn. Marshawn.
Is that all you're going to say, just in tribute to Marshawn?
Marshawn
Lynch, I'm just here so I won't get fined.
No, because this is something I feel very passionately about. Odell Beckham's catch. Unbelievably great catch. Unbelievably great catch. All right. Marshawn Lynch just literally says no to people when they're trying to tackle him. He just runs people over, throws them off of him, and just says, no, I'm going to go score. And, not that people aren't playing every down or whatever, but this is in the playoffs, too. Like you said. It's just, it's crazy. Where, Odell Beckham's catch, unbelievably great. Doesn't make it without those gloves.
Yeah.
Does not make it without those gloves. And not, it's still very impressive. He got, 3 fingers on the ball.
Yeah.
Very impressive. The pass interference before the catch, but, he wasn't shielded from seeing the ball. He gets to see the ball come in, get his hand back. Incredible catch. Incredible play. But, I just think that Marshawn was, just unbelievable. That run just it cemented his whole legacy. When you talk about Marshawn Lynch in beast mode, that's the moment.
Yep. Yeah, that's the moment everyone looks at. What do you think, Will? What are you voting for? Will?
Oh, beast mode, 100%.
Beast mode. Just here so I won't get
Well,
fined.
I'll tell you one thing, because Odell did it, against one defender?
Yeah, you did it against
Beast
the
mode
whole
ran through the whole Saints defense, and then said, "Home dude."
As he hopped into the end zone.
Yeah.
I do just have to say, both of these men were put on this planet for one thing, and that is to play football.
I don't believe that about Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham was put on this planet to be I think he could have been I think Odell Beckham's one of those freak of natures. Probably could have been a professional soccer player. Could have been a professional athlete. Well, he is a professional athlete, but Odell Beckham's just an idiot. He is just an idiot. He is not here to play football. He's here to have fun. And meanwhile, he's really good at football.
Fair enough.
All right.
Sorry.
Something Rick's been very passionate about for years. He's always
I hate
told me,
Odell
bro,
Beckham."
I'm not a big Odell Beckham catch fan, bro. So he got to finally vent it out.
Thanks, guys. Feel better now.
All right. Here's another big NFL catch versus catch. We got Dwight Clarke from Joe Montana. NFC Championship game 1981. Comes out of nowhere, makes the catch versus the David Tyree iconic helmet catch. Eli Manning scrambling away to stop perfection against the Patriots. This one's been kind of one-sided. I think a lot of us, because a lot of the people I've asked are more have watched we all watched that Super Bowl with the Patriots. Not many of us, only probably 2 people I asked were around to watch the Dwight Clarke catch. So take that with whatever grain of salt you want. But I still think the David Tyree helmet catch is iconic just because it stopped perfection. But give me your thoughts, Rick.
Yeah, I'm going David Tyree. Stops perfection. It's that weird thing where Eli Manning somehow puts together games to beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
And it's like, this is the only way that Eli Manning could beat Tom
D-line.
Brady in the Super Bowl. Yeah, because he has a great defense and because some dude catches a ball on his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Eli Manning's the weirdest quarterback ever. But this catch,
Shrugs
yeah,
McGee.
this catch literally just like cemented his legacy as like the guy who beats Brady. And once again, we're talking about the Patriots in their heyday.
New
Like,
England
15-0.
New England
Well,
Patriots.
17 and
Oh, 17 now, yeah.
All right, what do you think, Will?
Yeah. The Tyree catch.
David.
Yeah. like you said, it stopped perfection. Like, it's kind of the same thing going with the AI. Like everybody was like, Patriots got this locked in the bag.
I'm glad I
And
wasn't
Eli
a bettor
Manning
for
just-
that Super Bowl.
Oh.
I'll just tell you that much.
Oh.
I would have lost so much money, and I would have
Oh,
broken my
God.
television,
Oh,
which would have
God.
lost me more money.
Yeah.
And whatever I threw through it, which might have been my phone.
Yeah. Like, you shouldn't, man.
Absolutely insane. What do you think, Sam?
So, I agree that, I wasn't around for the Joe Montana touchdown catch to Dwight Clarke. Is it iconic? Absolutely. You'll see it on every highlight reel from that team.
Mm-hmm.
But David Tyree, when else have you heard that man's name? When?
Never.
Never. A 6th round pick. He's been around for a couple of years playing special teams, and in the Super Bowl, he gets hucked one up by the bum Eli.
receptions does he have?
Career receptions. So David Tyree in his career has 54 receptions and 4 touchdowns in the NFL. 54 receptions
And one of them's like the greatest of all time.
of all time. So
It's not even a season
Yeah.
for like good like wide receivers.
right. Yeah, it's like good for him. I mean, this is the only reason somebody knows
my
who
God.
David Tyree
That
is.
just cracked me up, dude. Oh my goodness.
One day you're just gonna be like sitting in a bar and smoking, just like talking to this guy. He's gonna be like, I won a Super Bowl with the Giants.
No, it'll be New York, dude, because he could go to any bar in New York and be like, I'm David Tyree, and they would hook him up.
I might tell people I'm David Tyree. Nobody knows what that dude looks like. They're just like, all right.
I'm
They
gonna
know
look at
he
his
is
skin
a white.
complexion.
I don't even know. Like, guys picture him like this.
Oh man. All right, let's move on. 2 NFL down here. Let's move on to a third one. Another iconic, 2 iconic catches. Lynn Swann. Incredible catch. Super Bowl 4 was it? I think it was Super Bowl 4. Against the Cowboys. 50-yard bomb from Terry Bradshaw. Bounces up in the air. Insane concentration to catch that, to come down with that. Huge play for the Steelers. Like, he had a few insane catches in that game. Versus the Antonio Freeman Monday Night Football against the Vikings. Al Michaels said it best. It's like, you couldn't film that better in a movie. And he was like, he did a what? And it like bounced off this dude's shoulder pad, off like off of Antonio Freeman's shoulder pad. Somehow still catches it. But the moment that Lynn Swann was in kind of trumps the moment Antonio Freeman was in for me, kind of. But the voting is kind of, I've seen showing the same thing. But what do you think? Well, you're a Steelers fan, so.
Yeah,
Kinda easy for you.
There was no real debate when I
Your
had
team won a
to
Super
look
Bowl.
at this one. Yeah, Lynn Swann was just an absolute beast for the Steelers, and like you said, to bobble it how many times, and like when you're on a full sprint like that too, trying to do shit like that, like over the shoulder.
One of the most graceful receivers of all time.
Oh yeah, definitely. And so yeah, plus against the Cowboys, like Steelers Cowboys Super Bowl, like that's like.
See you, Cowgirls.
That's one of the Super Bowl matchups, like that and like the Packers who do they play? The Packers and
The Steelers?
yeah.
That was like the Steelers and the Packers played like 10 years ago, but
yeah. So it wasn't real hard for me to pick that one.
yeah. What you got, Rick? Who you picking?
Lynn Swann.
Lynn Swann.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a crazy play.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most well-known plays. Lynn Swann was my mom's favorite athlete. I wouldn't say athlete, actually. Probably favorite football player growing up.
Mm-hmm.
She talked a lot about him, so I was always kind of like watch Lynn Swann stuff on
Mhm.
YouTube and whatnot. So,
And
I don't
you're a
know.
Packers.
Yeah, I'm a Packers fan, but like the moment's bigger. And to be honest, like that Antonio Freeman play, like it's iconic. It's
I don't know,
crazy.
I just
but
meant like how your mom liked Lynn Swann so much that you're a Packers fan.
yeah, I mean,
Because your dad is Packers fan.
His dad's a Raiders fan.
I'm trying.
What's going on with this family?
I'm trying to be my own person, man. I'm trying to be my own person.
own life,
Leave my own
Yo,
life.
I saw Brett Favre in that draft day, like this dude chilling
In his
on
jorts.
in his jorts with a red Solo cup, and I was like, "This is the man of the people." I'm a Favre
He
kind
already
of guy.
knew he was gonna get sponsored by Wrangler at some point.
Dude, Brett Favre's
time.
the
Just
man.
Had it on the
just
mind
a matter
already.
of time.
What are you thinking, Sam?
Yeah, I have to go with Lynn Swann here. I mean, the dude is he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Lynn Swann is iconic for the city of Pittsburgh. He's somebody who I definitely respect a lot. This catch, the concentration to be able to keep your eye on the ball and to make sure that you gain control before hitting the ground is just unbelievable. That's not to say that Freeman didn't have the same sort of concentration. I mean, that was unbelievable, and that led them to tying the game.
Yeah.
But I definitely have to have the respect for Lynn Swann.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, let's move on to another one. We're going to hit the links with Tiger Woods in the 2008 U.S. Open versus Rory McIlroy's incredible runaway performance in the 2011 U.S. Open. For me, this one's pretty easy. This is the moment that really got me into golf, inspired me to get good at golf. Seeing Tiger Woods play on one leg for 4 days, 72 holes, all the moments that encapsulated that tournament that Tiger put together is insane. Guys go a whole career without those kind of moments. And then to hit a putt on the 72nd hole to send you to a playoff, which in the U.S. Open, you play a full day playoff. You don't just play a couple holes. And then he had to go out there again against a awesome, inspired Rocco Mediate, who's one of the nicest guys I ever met. Like, I met him at this senior tournament, and he just talked to everybody that was on the putting green that wanted to talk. He's a really awesome dude. This was his moment to win a major, and Tiger just was great. Tiger just showed his greatness and really the heart of a champion. I've never seen the heart of a champion on display more than literally every shot this guy's taken. He's wincing in pain, and he just still gutted it out. 5 days, 90 holes to win the U.S. Open. For me, it's pretty easy. But what do you guys think?
Jordan's flu game. Kobe hits the free throws with his Achilles gone, and Tiger wins the U.S. Open.
It's
Like, that's what I think. Like, it's just one of those all-time great moments of an athlete stepping up and like pushing through pain, putting that mental block up, and doing what they have to do in the big moment.
Mhm.
That's literally all I have.
Yeah, Tiger. Really, I was like debating it at first, but then, like you said, when you break down all the facts, like, yeah, Rory pulled away and won by like 8 or 9 strokes. Yeah, I mean, Tiger also did the same thing
yeah,
and won by what, 12?
yeah.
So that's still a record held today. And during that U.S. Open, that was also his last major, right? Before the 2019 Masters, then. 2008
I think so.
US
Yeah,
Open.
Yeah.
That would have been it.
So
yeah.
like that was his last major before all this shit just broke out and
Shit hit the fan.
went downhill. Had home life blew up, surgery after surgery, just couldn't get better. So that's what really sticks out. Plus, yeah, the dude did it pretty much on one leg
Yeah.
Like literally he's just hobbling around.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's running off pure adrenaline, off that like to that point. But God, dude, I couldn't even imagine playing around in golf with one knee.
And I think, like, to your point of playing off pure adrenaline, I think that's an even tougher thing to do in, like, golf because it's all coming from, like, yourself, where, like, in most sports you have fans that are, like, screaming, urging you on and stuff like that. Like, the environment is so different in golf that the adrenaline isn't, like, it's natural. Like,
Well, it's one thing, though, is in golf, the one thing in other sports is you can harness that adrenaline and use it.
Right.
Yeah.
In golf, if you get too hyped up, everything can be gone in one swing, So that's what's just so impressive. The mental control that it would take you don't have any teammates to rely on. You don't have any, like that, you know what I mean? You don't have anything. You have you out there and your caddy telling you what to do. Like, to mentally get through that is insane to me. Just unbelievable. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, Tiger, Willie brought up a really good point that this was his last major before everything sort of hit the fan, and that's unbelievable. But to be able to really just have the eye of the tiger is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think that he is somebody who just makes the sport what it is.
Yeah.
It's not to discount what Rory has done for the game.
Wouldn't be the same.
No, it absolutely would not. And this is his career in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well said, well said. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one, I can't spend a lot of time on this one just because these Olympic ones, we have a few Olympic moments, and really you're feeding people to the wolves in these Olympic moments. And a lot of them, like, I want to pay tribute to all these moments. I want to pay tribute to all these moments. Like, just because we're putting one ahead of another doesn't mean we're trying to belittle any of these moments at all. They're all incredible moments. So with the next matchup, it's Jesse Owens versus the European Ryder Cup comeback. A lot of people probably don't know what the European Ryder Cup comeback was. They beat us 8-3 on the Sunday, or 8.5 to 3.5 on the Sunday to take the Ryder Cup on U.S. soil, which is huge in the Ryder Cup. Any team that has the home field advantage, if you would call it that, it has a huge advantage in this event. So incredible comeback by the European team with Ian Poulter, Sergio Garcia, and all those guys. Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, incredible players.
Crazy.
But
team.
this Jesse Owens winning 4 gold medals to win the 100 meters, the 200 meters, the long jump, which is insane, and then to be a part of the 4x100 meter team that won in Berlin, Germany in 1936 in front of Adolf Hitler. I mean, as an African American guy, I mean, it is like, I mean, in that time period, bro, it's just like, I don't know, it's gonna be hard to beat this one. This one could go a ways because this is an insane moment. I know we didn't experience it, but when you look back in history and just realize all the factors that go into it, it's pretty insane. So, what do you guys think? I mean, this is a pretty obvious one, but
Yeah, I also, honestly voted for the Jesse Owens because, like you said, being an African-American athlete in sports in general during that time was tough, let alone doing it at the Olympics in front of the worst dictator in the world at that time, soon to become. Like, pretty unbelievable. And to also not just only win in one thing, but win 4 gold medals.
Yeah.
Like,
insane.
That's just, I'm sorry, but like, Ryder Cup, that was pretty dope, but
it was insane. Yeah,
can't beat that.
Yeah, I'm going Jesse Owens.
I mean, we don't really have to beat a dead horse. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Jesse Owens is going to move on to the next one, you know what I mean?
Something just real quick to add to that little story, like you were saying about, like, in front of Hitler and stuff to become, like, a lot of those people came back from the Olympics and were like, yo, Germany's sick. Like, Germany's so sweet. Before everybody went over, they took down, like, all the anti-Semitism stuff, everything. They just, like, decked everything out, and they're like, no, we're sweet. We're a cool country.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. It's wild.
It's wild. Yes, the lengths. these governments go to, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, Jesse Owens wasn't even invited to like see the Fuhrer or see the White House.
Wow.
This guy wasn't even
There you go.
like
Insane.
yeah, wasn't respected
Racial
in
bar-
his time.
Racial barriers were massive
sure.
in our country,
Unbelievable.
which is it's so sad to look back at that time that like we had like African American people fighting for our country. We had African American people like going down and representing our country in the Olympics, and yet like we're shunning them when they come back.
Yeah.
It's so messed up.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We'll surely see Jesse Owens in the second round, that's for sure. Boxing, old time fights. Here we go. Ali beats Sonny Liston to take the heavyweight title versus Buster Douglas, shocking KO
Buster.
of Mike Tyson.
Buster.
Pure fight. I mean, it's no one at all thought that Buster Douglas was beating Mike Tyson.
No.
He's
Nobody.
huge.
Like, people were giving Muhammad
Underdog.
Ali. Muhammad Ali was the underdog, but people thought he had a chance. No one was giving Buster Douglas a chance. But, I mean, the moment of... I mean, this is the iconic Muhammad Ali, foot like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
The poster.
You know, it's...
famous
it's
photograph.
on the wall
him
here. So,
standing over
I mean,
him.
you know, it's tough to go against that. So, I mean, just give me your guys' thoughts. We're not the boxing experts.
Yeah, no.
But, you know, just as sports fans, I would just go with Ali. Give me what you guys think.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I'll go with Ali. I mean, like we said, there's the classic photo, the iconic photo. Almost every kid you knew had in their dorm room in college somewhere on the wall. Like, yeah, it's such an iconic moment. Ali's been running his mouth. It's Sonny Liston. Like, everything just adds up to just like the perfect moment. Like Ali, everything he's saying happened. Like he's that guy.
Yep.
It cemented that legacy.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at like both sides, like you said, like no one gave Buster a shot. Like Mike Tyson, when he came into boxing, was truly, he's one of the hardest hitting boxers of all time. Like he's an absolute animal when he first came. Like the guy was a teenager, maybe a little bit older when he first started doing this, and people were like, this guy's like this young, like holy cow, like he was beating up men before he was even a man, God. But yeah, I still gotta go with Ali because, you know, that, like you said, the iconic photo. Everybody in the sports world has seen that photo at some point. You know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
You might not know who the other guy is in the picture, but you've seen that photo and you know like that's Muhammad Ali. So
Yep.
yeah, I
you think,
gotta
Sam?
go with that.
Ali.
Yeah,
All
I
rolling
mean,
with
it's
Ali.
it's a runaway.
Clean
but
sweep for
you
Ali.
know, I just find it so great that Buster was able to find a way to take Mike Tyson 10 rounds. He took him.
Insane.
That's
insane.
long time, and I mean that's how you beat Mike Tyson.
Gas them out.
You gas him out, yeah, because you can't get over the raw power. But it wasn't like
Power,
Buster
power.
was just sort of hanging back. I mean, he gave this man a run for his money. He was clubbing him throughout the rounds. But Ali, float
Rope it
like
up,
a
baby.
butterfly, sting like a bee.
Yep.
Bro, his feet, man,
Insane.
I mean, he brought on a whole different way of fighting.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to the next one. I think we got a pretty
Yes,
solid. We'll
consensus.
probably see Muhammad Ali in the next round. Move on to soccer here. Abby Wambach header versus Brazil 122nd minute in the World Cup quarterfinals. Incredible moment. Would have been the worst exit the U.S. women's national team ever had in a World Cup. And Abby Wambach from Megan Rapinoe just saves the United States' lives, as the announcer said. And we got that up against the Landon Donovan U.S. men's national team goal versus Algeria, late winner. Rick, as the resident soccer guru, I will go to you first.
Yeah, this one I flip-flopped a lot on this one. That Landon Donovan goal against Algeria, like I remember just watching that game, and when he just cranks that thing in there, I remember just literally running. Like I'm sitting there watching this, and when he scores that, just sprinting and screaming. Like there's something about like the U.S. men's national team when they were like, not having them in this last World Cup was rough.
Yeah,
rough
dude,
for me. Having them in it, it's just like it was such an awesome time because they're not that good, but at the same time, like they're going all out. Like Landon Donovan is that dude for us, and like it just cements them in that legacy. And then Abby Wambach's goal. I really struggle with this one. It's unreal. The 122nd minute of extra time. Megan Rapinoe out on that left side just floats that ball in there. Like, floats it in there. If that keeper... It's such an interesting ball, too. Because I think if she whips that thing in there with pace, that keeper stays in the net and doesn't try to come out for it, and she has a chance of saving it. Where, like, she comes out, whiffs at it because it's a lofted ball in, and Abby Wambach does what she does best and just dominates in the air and puts it in, like, against Marta Brazil. Like, Brazil was hungry for that. Marta was hungry for that. Marta was towards the end of her career. She's one of the greatest women's players, like, ever out there. Absolutely incredible. Loved watching her career. Like, at times you almost felt like if it wasn't our women's team, you definitely would have been rooting for Brazil in that moment. And Abby Wambach just comes up massive. And, like, she's towards the end of her career, too, but staying just absolutely relevant all tournament, being dominant in the air. I think I'm going the Abby Wambach goal just because of you're against Brazil, World Cup quarters. Like, without that, you're done.
Well, here's the thing for me. This is a moment that's really about how you experience the moment and not as much the moment itself. Like, obviously, both moments are crazy. But I remember just sitting at work, watching it with the two other guys in the cart shop and one of the members. And this guy walked out of the building. Like, after USA had a shot, we missed it. Brazil had a goal kick with like a minute, with the 120th minute. They kick it out, they get it. This guy starts walking out. We get the ball back. We go down the field. Boom, boom, boom. Puts it in the goal. We're all running around the pro shop. We run out, yell at this dude. He's walking up the hill like, man, we lost. And this dude just turns around, sprints back into the pro shop. We watched them win the night. Like, we watched them win the game. Like, it was awesome. So, I mean, just for that, like, the moment, the experience, I have to give it to Abby Wambach. Absolutely insane. What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, when you think about a team that really are two powerhouses that are going up against each other in the women's World Cup, Brazil and USA are two of the best. And not to knock it, but, like, this is probably one of the only women's highlights that I'm ever going to remember for the rest of my life. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Like, these two teams, I feel like, put women's soccer on the map. Like, people were hyped to watch the U.S.
I
women's
loved watching
team.
it. I love watching it.
I really enjoy watching women's soccer.
Right.
Like, I feel like there's just a lot more action sometimes. Like, could be like a lot more like goals scored too. Like, I'm not a soccer guy, so like I'm loving when people are scoring. It's like 6-5, 6-4. Like,
and it feels good when we're good.
Sure. Yeah.
And you think about like, God, man, the USA men's team is playing Algeria.
That's right. Yeah.
Like, is it a great goal? Yeah. Was it fantastic to watch them in 2010? Yeah.
Yeah. But
like, I just love the fact that our women's team is world renowned, and this is just one of those moments that it's gonna stick with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Abby Wambach.
Yeah. Just something to add into it. I think it's just like an even more impactful moment because it was women's soccer on such a huge stage, bringing women's soccer to a huge stage. If you look into like the first World Cup that the women won, if you listen to like players that were on this team, they talk about the belief that was given to them and the confidence that was given to them because they were little girls getting to watch that first team win.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about how impactful that was to them as women, where like sport, like, you know, sport hasn't always been very inclusive for women, and the opportunities haven't always been there for women to be playing sport at a high level. And this is like just such a moment of like such cool thing of like Abby Wambach, like these young girls on the squad too. Like it's just so impactful for young girls and empowering for girls all around the country. And it's like, how many times do you hear guys talking about like our women's sports? Like how often do you hear like guys being like, yo dude, did you watch that women's soccer game last night? Like it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I definitely went with the like Abby Wambach. I remember being where we were on vacation with my family and we watched it, and I remember running out on the balcony and just started chanting USA, and like some dude on like another balcony like started doing it too because he was watching. I was like, "Did you see that goal?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude," and we were just both freaking out. And I like specifically remember that. And wasn't Abby Wambach? Wasn't she a late sub in that game too, or she played the whole game?
Pretty sure she played the whole game.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think she was.
I don't know.
She's
I'm not
a
sure.
superstar player.
But yeah.
All right, let's move into the next matchup then. App State, Boise State. App State upset in Michigan. Game 1 of the regular season a few years ago. And then the Boise State Statue of Liberty play with the other trick plays. They had crazy game in the Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma. This one is a really toss-up in the air. What do you think, Rick?
Boise. Come on, people. It's Boise. It is Boise State. They're going against Oklahoma.
They were number 8.
They're a joke.
Look at that Oklahoma
Conference is
team.
a
That
joke.
Oklahoma yeah.
They're in a joke conference.
No. I
love
agree.
the stats. They're like, Boise State's one of the best college football teams with the greatest winning percentages of all time. It's like, they don't fucking play anybody.
All right. I know that. And that's what, let me talk.
All right, I'm sorry.
Willie, what do you think? Not my podcast.
All right. So, Boise State. They're coming out of the MAC. Tons of questions about them. People are like you sit there and you're like, this team's not that good. Like everybody's sitting there, but they've been undefeated. They had like multiple undefeated seasons at that point. Like you got to give a team eventually a shot when they're repeatedly undefeated like that. And they get their shot against Oklahoma. Everybody watching that game will sit there and tell you Oklahoma was the better football team. Oklahoma was the better football team. If that game kept going on, Oklahoma's going to win. They knew they had to end it, and they just pull off the craziest trick plays against one of the best Oklahoma teams we've seen like in our lifetime to just like to beat them.
Crazy.
That's a really good Oklahoma team.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying it's the
good.
best,
No.
but it's one of.
Yeah. What do you got, Sam?
You know, I have to respect Boise State for just pulling out their bag of tricks and giving their guys an opportunity to even come close to beating a team like Oklahoma. But this Appalachia State team is just awesome.
Yeah.
You know, Michigan 99 times out of 100 is beating this team into the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
And Appalachia State is, like, this puts them on the map. This gives them the opening to recruit people and actually become relevant. Like, this is a team that is just, it was great.
Michigan paid them to come there. That's what makes this better than the Boise State one. Is because y'all paid a team to come there
That's
and
a
then
prop game.
and lose.
Yeah.
Like, and so and I agree with that. Like, it opened the door for Appalachian State. They're actually kind of relevant now. Like, they get talked about definitely a lot more.
Yeah.
Now I'll always, because I'm a Penn State fan, so like obviously I hate Michigan, so. That just, I'll remember that always. And I always bring that up, you know, to Derek and stuff. I'll just bring up Appalachian State out of nowhere. I'm like, God damn, that was a rough game, wasn't it?
For sure.
And like,
Opening
I think
up
the
old
best thing
wounds.
is that they paid them to be there.
Yeah.
And they beat them. So
Yeah.
I think that's the most satisfying thing of all.
I'm interested to see how this one breaks out, for sure.
Yeah.
It's close. It is close.
That is definitely a close one, though. Like you said, like, hell of Oklahoma team. Boise
Yeah, hell
State
of an
coming out
Oklahoma
of the
team.
MAC. Like I said, they're coming out of the MAC. You know, there's not a ton of crazy teams in that league. So they do go undefeated. Yeah, they do. Have good seasons, and I think they had that game. Just everything went for them in their way, and like you said, pulled out crazy trick shots and trick plays. But
I think too, if you look at it for the future of like NCAA with college football playoffs and stuff like that, and you look back at that game of a team coming out of a tough, like a not as good conference, and being able to upset and validate, getting put into the Fiesta Bowl that year, like I think that like that is really what makes it, is that like they really validated the choice,
absolutely,
unbelievably. It's awesome.
No, for sure. All right, let's move on to the next one. We got USC Texas Rose Bowl. Vince Young versus Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, the whole crew over at USC.
Reggie Bush
versus the Doug Flutie Hail Mary versus really insane Miami team back in the day, back in 1984. Tough matchup for Doug Flutie. Whoever you give this USC Texas Rose Bowl to, you're kind of feeding them to the wolves.
That's what we're talking about, setting it up.
But you know what I mean? Doug, incredible play by Doug Flutie. We want to recognize it for sure. But I think pretty much everybody has the USC Rose Bowl as one of their most iconic college football moments. So, anything you guys got to add to that?
Like you said, it's really one of the best, college football bowl games, championships that you'll ever, get to see. Like, there's just some crazy talent. Like, Reggie Bush, was that his Heisman year?
I think so.
Like, he was an absolute freak of nature when he was in college. Like, just unreal athlete. And so that's definitely, I have it over the other one too, because it's just, Doug being his size is pretty crazy that he's able to even get the ball that far.
Well, the team they beat was insane,
Yeah.
His little Boston College team
Oh,
against
Boston,
Miami Hurricanes
BC,
back in the 80s. Like, that was a hell of a team. Like, it was an insane play, but, that was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Rose Bowl of all time.
Yeah.
One of the best national championships of all games of all time. So, anything to add, Rick?
Like, Vince Young made lifelong fans out of that. Like, he's one of those people that, like...
Texas, for sure. Like,
holy cow. Like, he literally just put his team on his back against... Like, that was a good team effort, don't get me wrong, but, like, Vince Young just stepped up in big moments that game, like, just such an iconic way, and, like, I think everybody was watching that game.
For sure.
It was just, like everybody's been saying, it's two of the most talented college football teams we've really seen. Like, one of the coolest matchups, Reggie Bush, Vince Young, towards the ends of their college career, like, about to go into the NFL and, like, the biggest bowl game, biggest stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't get any better.
Yep. What you got for me, Sammy?
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. This USC-Texas game is just unbelievable. And don't get me wrong, that Doug Flutie pass is pretty great, too. The fact that ball even slipped through to his receiver in the end zone is a miracle in its own right. But this USC-Texas game is filled with highlights that we could have put in this bracket.
Yeah.
So, just the sheer volume of great players, great plays, and the
finish.
The game in itself. It was great. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, yeah. I think we'll see USC Texas in the next one.
For sure.
In the next round. Let's move on here. This is a close one here. This is one of the closest ones we got. I think this one might be tied right now with some more votes going to be coming in. But we got Babe Ruth calling his shot versus Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. hitting back-to-back home runs. Incredible moment, both of them. What do you think, Will, as a Yankees fan? What you got for me?
Being a Yankees fan and all, I still had a really tough time, debating this one because, growing up, playing baseball, playing baseball since I was 5 years old, like, any kid, and even you guys, if you played any kind of baseball or backyard wiffle ball, like there was probably one point where you stuck that finger up and you were like, yeah, shoot that
Launch
shit
it.
over the moon.
Oh, I'm
like,
gonna launch this thing.
yeah,
It's going
and,
right there.
$100
And
says I
like-
hit it over the highway.
Yeah, and so, but then again, I also go to the Ken Griffey thing. Literally, father and son get to play on the same MLB team
That's insane.
and go back to back home runs. Like that probably will never happen again. Like I highly doubt it will ever happen again.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And so that's why I think that's what takes the cake over Babe Ruth, even being a Yankees fan, even
Wow.
being a huge baseball fan. I still think the Ken Griffey aspect of, back-to-back father-son is just unmatchable.
Yeah.
All right, what you got for me, Sam?
Yeah, Babe Ruth, man. I mean, this man made baseball like what it is for me at this point in my life. Him calling his shot is one of the biggest moments in sports history. I don't think just baseball.
Mhm.
I think it's extremely cool that Ken Griffey Sr. and Jr. got to play and got to hit back-to-back home runs. That is unmatchable. I mean, there's hardly any father-sons who get to play in the league at the same time,
Yeah.
let alone in the same game,
Yep.
let alone hitting home runs. Like, so many things have to happen for this to even be a possibility,
Right.
and it won't be seen again. I don't think that it would ever happen again, but to not give Babe Ruth this win, I think, for me, is giving up a legend of the game, and I can't go against it. I have to say Babe Ruth.
Yeah, I'm thinking the Babe too, just because if you ask somebody that doesn't know really much about baseball, which play they would know, they would know, it would be the Babe Ruth iconic,
Pointing for the fences.
pointing for the swing. I'm hitting it right there, baby. But you have anything to add to that, Rick, or you?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, the Babe, the great Bambino.
Great Bambino.
You said the great Bambi. Oh man! All right, let's move on here. We got
Salt and of SWAT.
NHL. What is it?
Rick just under his breath, baseball's dumb.
Coming from a soccer fanatic, yeah. NHL, here we go. Top end. Eastern Conference Finals 2013. Bruins down 4-2 with 1:30 to play in the quarterfinals. Game 7. They come back, tie it in the last. They score 2 goals in 1:30. Tie it, go to overtime, and win the series. That's going up against the Blackhawks playing the Bruins later that year in the Stanley Cup Final.
17 seconds.
It was insane. Absolutely
17
insane.
seconds.
I think the consensus is mostly going towards the the
yeah.
Blackhawks, but I mean, not to discount what the Bruins did.
No,
I mean, that was
yeah.
insane,
Yeah.
man. Like, they were down 4-1 with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so they scored again, too. They had another goal in there,
3
too.
goals in the fourth period.
Yeah.
The third period.
Yeah, in a game 7, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like, teams are locking it down. 10 minutes to go. You're like, all right, 10 minutes to go. We're up by 3 goals to get to the next series. And then they just came out and did this. It's insane. But just to win the Stanley Cup on that kind of moment
that
is insane.
fashion?
Yeah, it's insane.
That just sucked all the energy right out of that stadium. Like, that place went from being raging, here we come, game 7, to
That's it.
complete dead silence.
Season's over.
And you hear, like, the couple Chicago fans who are going absolutely nuts. And then, like, the bench that's going crazy. But that's, like, the only thing you hear.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. It's so funny because, I mean, I've been there watching, hockey games like that before. It's amazing how fast a hockey game can change.
Yeah.
It is unreal. That sport it's one of the fastest sports, and it's crazy and how fast things can change. It really is.
What do you think, Sam?
I respect the fact that this Blackhawks win in regulation was in the Stanley Cup. But the Bruins to be able to come back and score 4 goals. Well, they scored 3 in the third period.
Yeah, and then
OT. Is something that I think really sets them apart. Like, it can be difficult to score 4 goals in a game, let alone in like that short of an amount of time. But I don't know. I might just have this resentment against the Blackhawks. I just hated them as a team for so long.
So good.
Oh, I know, but that's what sucked. And I'm a Penguins fan, so I mean, I can't deal. You know.
Yeah.
I like this Bruins comeback.
Yeah. All right. What do you think, Rick?
Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks.
Yeah, I know you like those.
Boom, roasted.
I've been waiting for that.
Failed art school.
You don't want to start trash talking to me.
We heard earlier off mic how that was going, so I don't know if you want to get into that with Rick.
Let's move on to the next one before this gets crazy. Before this gets me banned from YouTube.
Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Does your ass still hurt from sitting in this chair?
Whoa, chill.
Mine does.
Yeah, mine
Mine's
kills.
killing me.
But yo, this is getting personal.
All right, let's
This is
go.
not what I
Let's
signed
move
up
on here.
for.
We'll probably be seeing the Blackhawks in the round 2 with that incredible Stanley Cup performance. But we got 2 matchups left we're going to break down in this episode. Tua Tagovailoa coming in the second half versus Georgia in the national championship game. Alabama looked down and out, and he leads into a comeback, which is absolutely iconic for Alabama, versus the iconic Stanford band is out on the field. This dude's trucking people. If I was him, I would have trucked a few more.
Absolutely.
But this one's tight. This one is real tight. Tua Tagovailoa has a slight advantage, but what do you think, Rick?
I think all these people that are voting for Tua Tagovailoa, whatever his name is, I think they're
Like Project Adele.
drunk. I think they are drunk and they need to be condemned to an insane asylum. I think you're all crazy. Have you seen this play? This dude is running down the field and the band's on the field. He gets to openly truck band members as they go onto the field. This is the greatest play. Like, these are the cockiest people. They're out on the field celebrating. This is just straight instant karma as this dude just puts his shoulder right through this tuba player. This is the greatest thing that's happened in college football. And y'all are going to say Tua's out here being better than that moment. No.
Because Tua won a national championship.
And because I got to witness the comeback, and he literally stole Jalen Hurts' job from him in that game, and the dude transferred the next year because he was like, well, looks like I'm not playing next season.
Yeah, it looks
at
like
least
they got a
here.
QB.
So.
No, not to take anything away from Tua.
No,
that was
I know what
absolutely
you're saying.
incredible. I just think that there's some people who have questionable opinions about this play that should be kind
Throwing
of
punches at
unvalidated for the rest of this.
Imagine
podcast.
being the guy that's like, you see that guy right there that got trucked? That was me.
That'd be awesome, dude. That would be so hype.
Telling your kids, like, watch this video. You see that?
Yeah.
That's Grampy.
That's Grampy right there. Tucked in the back. Getting the ball spiked into Grandpa's spine.
I broke 3 ribs.
Yeah, right? Oh,
man.
God.
It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I don't know. We'll see how the votes shake out, but
Yeah.
I hope Rick doesn't see anyone on the street that voted for Tua Tagovailoa.
Jeez. Anyone in a Tua jersey. Good Lord.
Oh, man. Any other thoughts on it, Sam?
All I can say is that I voted for Tua. You know, this Stanford video as I watch it again is just the most absurd thing that ever happened, which is so cool. But Tua, I think right now, especially with the 2020 draft, was incredible. I'm excited to see this guy play in the NFL. And I think that he's going to do wonderful things. And that was just a glimmer of hope for what he has to offer down in Miami. Hopefully they can start to turn some things around. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, the Stanford band on the field, man, is just something else.
Like, who let them just go?
Seriously, what are they
on the
doing?
field,
Yeah.
dude? Like, up,
The
clock
game's
hit 0,
not
send them
over.
out there.
Yeah, like the second that clock hits 0, you need to be at midfield.
Get on the field. If you're not, you're done.
Sprint your ass on that field. Oh,
what if
man.
a band member? What if it was the other way around?
Somebody
Instead
trucked
of
that guy?
somebody trucked that, like the tuba player just took his.
A football
So,
player
wait,
end his
what
career.
what year was that in?
That's another thing too. Like we got to witness the Tua thing, and that's
Yeah.
I think that's
Well-
another thing to deal with. You know, like the experience that we have
Yeah,
with
what-
it. Like we
Sam,
got
can
to
you see
see
that?
it.
What year was Stanford?
1982.
Oh wow.
Early
really?
80s.
All right. So anyhow, what I'm saying is, we're still here almost 20 years afterwards talking about this play.
Bro, it's almost
But-
40 years.
But the math.
So
Math is hard.
so yeah, 40 years.
you got halfway there.
All right. Anyhow, that helps my
Close.
point. 40 years later, we're sitting here talking about this. Like, are we really going to be sitting there 40 years after Tua and being like, man, that Tua Tagovailoa Dadova Dadiz?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'll tell you in 40
we
years.
We could.
I think if we are, we're talking about his
if
NFL
Tua
career.
has a good NFL career, a decent NFL career, I guarantee you that'll be talked about for
Yep.
years to come.
Yeah.
He's a backup that came in.
And
the
plus,
national
even when they
championship
cover
game.
the national championship, they're still probably gonna reference it countless times.
Yeah, because Alabama will be in it, and they'll be talking about
yeah,
Alabama.
yeah,
so.
probably.
All right, let's move it in to our last matchup that we're gonna cover. This is a pretty simple one as well. Another Olympic moment. We did both Olympic moments in this one for this side of the bracket. We got Michael Phelps, the Olympic gold medal run, 8 Olympics, absolutely insane. The relay race versus France, that was like a millisecond or whatever it was, like
Like
the
half a
smallest
finger-
fraction
half a
of time that
fingertip.
exists. Like, versus Cordell Stewart's crazy Hail Mary play. Also against it was against Michigan.
Yeah.
So it's like Michigan's getting double dipped here with App State and
Good.
Cordell Stewart.
Good.
But I mean, this one's pretty obvious. Like, we want to give credit to the Cordell Stewart play. It's a crazy
Oh,
play,
yeah.
but like
Bye.
doesn't have much of a shot. Goodbye.
Yeah,
No. Like, it's like
I feel like I said this earlier, like when we were setting up the brackets too. I feel like this one alone is gonna go super far in this whole bracket
Mhm.
because I don't think we'll ever see anything like it again. It's one of those just absolutely insane. The man came back 4 years later and still won another gold medal. He ended up with 9.
Mhm.
Like 9 gold medals is just
Insane.
And he did it all high.
Yeah.
Smoking weed
Yeah,
the
it's
whole
like
time.
Doc Ellis.
ripping bombs back in his hotel room. Like, it's just absolutely crazy.
Definitely was not doing that.
No. At the Olympic like hotels they're
You
staying
can't
in.
prove that.
Yeah. Where's your proof?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like anything you put up against this one is it's gonna take something pretty crazy to
Yeah.
overcome.
For sure.
Now, we'll definitely be seeing it in the second round.
And the other thing, we got to see it too. Like I know I was cheering him
crazy.
on hardcore. Like,
Oh, yeah, dude.
And then like you said, that France one where he literally, he's stacking shit. No, he like you said, he pretty much was losing. USA was behind the whole time in that race, and it still looked like they didn't have enough to do it. And then all of a sudden, you just saw USA pop up one in the thing, and people didn't believe it at first. They were like, "There's no way." And when you watch that video, it's crazy. He just extends his body that millimeter further than that guy, and
Insane.
just the fingers touch. It's incredible.
Yeah, I don't have really much to add to this.
Yeah.
All respect to Cordell Stewart, but Michael Phelps, man, that dude is just
God.
built like he was born in the ocean.
Greatest swimmer of all time.
Yeah,
Easily.
no doubt
Not even
about it.
close.
I mean, they've done studies on this man, and he defies
It's
science.
aquatic.
I love the video of like what he eats every day.
Yeah,
He eats like a 12-egg omelet to start off his day. It's like
I'll
dude eats like
vomit.
10,000 calories when he was training
Mm-hmm.
because it's
It probably sucked to eat that much.
insane.
Yeah.
He had to or
Yeah.
like
Oh no, yeah,
he
no
would
that.
be like his. That's insane.
yeah.
This dude literally ate like 7 meals a day.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. But anything else you guys got to add?
No, I'm good. I mean, it's biggest stage,
Yeah.
biggest performance ever. Like, I don't know.
Go far.
This might be my favorite to win it all.
Yeah.
Like, I
same.
don't know, because it's so
That's a bold
relevant.
statement because we got a lot of good things in here. But
Yeah. Out of this
I respect
batch,
it.
I would say that's.
It's definitely up there.
Yeah.
It's
Probably
gonna
my
be
favorite to
Final
win.
Four, I believe.
For sure. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We I'm gonna put the results below, guys. After this, we'll cut through all the results of all of the matchups we just went through. We're gonna have 2 more parts to the first round, and then we'll move all into the second round. It'll probably end up being about 6 parts. I'm sure these guys will be back on in a few of those episodes. So thanks for coming on, guys. Taking the time, and I'll catch you later.
See you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, bro. Appreciate
yeah, this
it.
was a lot of fun, man.
For sure.
Looking forward to seeing how it progresses.
For sure. All right. All right, guys, that's all of the discussion part of this video. Now I'm going to just break down the results real quick so you know who won the matchups we were talking about, so you know who to look forward to in the next round as the bracket progresses. So, all right, Jordan shot on Greg Ehlo versus the Damian Lillard series ender. We had Jordan going through there relatively easily. Second matchup we had was the Sidney Crosby OT Goal for Team Canada versus USA, going up against the Rangers, breaking their 53-year curse. We had the Rangers sneak through there, breaking their curse. So we'll be seeing the Rangers versus Michael Jordan in the second round, a little cross-sport matchup there. So number 3 matchup we had Tre Jones versus UNC 2020 game, missing the free throws versus the Austin Rivers buzzer beater. Austin Rivers actually snuck this one out, kind of to my surprise, but it was a great moment. Austin Rivers buzzer beater will be moving on to the next round. Going up against the winner of the Cavs championship versus the Ray Allen shot, which the Cavs championship surprisingly came through with better numbers than I thought. I thought it'd be real close, but Cavs kind of pulled away. The LeBron block, the Kyrie shot, just too much for Ray Allen. So next matchup we had was Villanova buzzer beater versus North Carolina in the national championship versus the buzzer beater for Virginia versus Purdue last year. Villanova easily took that one. So we'll be seeing Villanova in the next round, and that'll be going up against the winner of this matchup here. Allen Iverson steps over Tyronn Lue versus the Kobe game winner versus the Suns. Allen Iverson sneaks by 1 vote on here over my man Kobe Bryant. I totally respect Allen Iverson. Great moment, and honestly, being a Kobe fan, I would give the nod to this AI one. Honestly, this is game 1 of the NBA Finals against one of the greatest teams of all time. So, Allen Iverson will be seeing you in the next round. All right, next one here: Beast Mode run versus the Odell Beckham catch. Not a lot of love showed to Odell Beckham here. We had Beast Mode pretty much in a landslide. So, all right. Move on to the next one. We'll be seeing Beast Mode as suspected. Going up against the winner of this matchup, Tiger Woods 2008 U.S. Open versus Rory McIlroy's 2011 U.S. Open. This one started out pretty close, but as the voting progressed, we saw Tiger steadily pull away. This, like I said in the podcast, is one of my all-time favorite moments. Got me into golf. Got me to want to be good at golf. So I will be seeing you in the next round, Mr. Tiger Woods, in the 2008 U.S. Open. All right, next one. Dwight Clarke catch versus the David Tyree catch. Two huge moments. You know, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I asked people around my age. I'm 27, so take that with a grain of salt. I didn't ask a lot of older people. If you asked a lot of older people, they might have gone with the Dwight Clarke catch. But we have the David Tyree catch moving on to face the winner of this next matchup, the Lynn Swann catch versus the Antonio Freeman catch. Lynn Swann pretty easily won that one just because of the moment. It was in a Super Bowl. Antonio Freeman, great moment, especially at me as a Packers fan. It was a great moment. I remember watching that as a kid on Monday Night Football, but can't beat Lynn Swann, baby. So we'll be seeing Lynn Swann going into the next round versus the David Tyree catch. Two great catches. So, all right, Jesse Owens going up against the European Ryder Cup comeback. Jesse Owens wiped the floor here. I don't even know wasting time. Jesse Owens, 1936, 4 gold medals, wipes the floor with the European Ryder Cup comeback. Not that it wasn't impressive, like I said, not to belittle any of these moments, but Jesse Owens takes the cake. The next matchup, guys, we got Ali KO and Sonny Liston taking out Buster Douglas KO and Mike Tyson. You know, the iconic float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. We've all seen the photo of Muhammad Ali. We'll be seeing it in the second round for sure. It's right to my left here in my little studio. So we'll be seeing that moment here in the second round. Going up against Jesse Owens. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. So next one we got the Wombats game-tying header versus Brazil. Going up against Landon Donovan versus Algeria. His late winner. Abby Wambach coming out on top. A lot of people, we all saw that. We all loved that moment. A lot of great experiences of that moment. So Abby Wambach will be moving on to the next round. Next one we got App State, Michigan, upsets Michigan versus Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl. This one was crazy. Too close to call. I had to make the call on it myself. And I am going with Boise State. It is just too much, too many trick plays. They had so many trick plays in that game. This is the Oklahoma team with Adrian Peterson on it. App State was incredible, totally unreal, really. But I just have to give it to Boise State. The amount of trick plays that they put in and to win that and really set their program on a pace for the next 5 to 10 years as we've seen their program grow into the consistent ranked team that it is now. Really impressive. So we'll be seeing Boise State in the next round, and it's going to be going up against the USC-Texas Rose Bowl as the USC-Texas Rose Bowl took out the Doug Flutie Hail Mary. Tough matchup for Doug Flutie. Like I said in the video, we're not trying to belittle any of these moments, but some of them just get fed to the wolves, as we all know. What's really going to go through? I think that Texas USC Rose Bowl is one of the all-time great moments in college football. Most people have it ranked in their top 3 or 4 moments in college football history. So, baseball moment next, we had Babe Ruth calling his shot versus the Ken Griffey father and son, back-to-back home runs. This one's interesting. This one was really close, and Ken Griffey and his father, Ken Griffey Jr. and his father, they snuck it out by 1 vote of 20. So it was an extremely close one, but I just think with the amount of things that had to go right for Ken Griffey and his father to even be on the same team, to be batting in the lineup together, it's just something that'll never happen again. Whereas Babe Ruth, it is iconic, his calling his shot, but it could happen again. But guys don't really do that today. But the father-son home run, I don't know if I'll ever see that again in my lifetime. I'd be pretty shocked. So Michael Phelps is the next one. That's a pretty obvious one. We all knew Michael Phelps was going to take out Cordell Stewart. So We got 2 more matchups here. We got the Blackhawks versus the Bruins. That 2 goals in a minute 30 to win. The Stanley Cup versus the Bruins themselves, having a 4-2 comeback earlier in that same year in the playoffs against the Toronto Maple Leafs to advance on. The Blackhawks winning the Stanley Cup took this one. Not as easy as you'd think, but they still pulled it out strong. So we'll be seeing the Blackhawks again in the second round. And then our last matchup that I have was Tua Tagovailoa, the comeback in the second half versus Georgia in the national championship. Takes out the Stanford band, is out on the field. Crazy play. I know Rick was harping on people. Honestly, I picked Tua just simply because this is a backup coming in a national championship when his team looked completely down and out. The Stanford band out on the field, it's iconic, but it was a regular season game. It didn't win a national championship. Tua Tagovailoa coming in as a backup quarterback against one of the best defenses and making some of those plays, especially the game-winning play. Tua came out after taking that terrible sack the play before, hits a 40-yard bomb to win the national championship. Absolutely unbelievable game. It's one they'll be talking about down there in Tuscaloosa for a long, long time. But that's the results of it, guys. We'll see all these moments in the second round, see how they progress. I'm excited to see the matchups here in the second round. But that's the results.
Guys, that's the video. That's the results. I want to thank my guys, Brandon, Eric, and Sam for coming on the podcast. It was a great time shooting it. We're going to be shooting another one next week. I'm going to try to get these videos out as fast as I can so it's not a huge break in between when part 1 comes out to part 2 to part 3. So we got about 1/3 of the first round done in this video. So we're going to do 2 more videos of the first round, then we'll move right into the second round. Make sure that if you haven't, guys, if you made it this far, you're a real one. I appreciate you. Go down in the box below if you haven't, though, and give me a subscribe. And if you made it this far, you probably liked the video. So give it a like, give it a share, and I will catch you guys in the next one.